Hello and welcome to Tarot Sherpa. I'm Christine, and today I will be reading to you from the Shadowscapes Tarot, written by Barbara Moore and illustrated by Stephanie Quinlan Law. So I'm going to use a spread that comes from the Shadowscapes Companion, which is the book that comes with the tarot deck. And this is called the Dreams Come True spread. Dreams Come True. And the important thing to remember about our dreams is that we have to participate in making them come true. So this is a little spread. We kind of talk about where one's strengths and weaknesses and also some actions that need to be taken. Getting some cards coming up. Ace of Pentacles there. I got a Nine of Wands over here. All right. Give us a little bit more love here. Get everybody all mixed up. And okay, so switching cameras. Our first card is going to be our strongest aspect. Where is the strength? Oh my, King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is showing some definite strength here for this goal, this dream, whatever it is that you're working on. And the King of Pentacles is the epitome of accomplishment. This is success. This is success that's manifested in tangible ways that you can see in your everyday world. It's not just interchange, but interchange is part of it. It's outer manifestation as well. And so there's a harmony between the inner and the outer. And so you're coming in from a state of harmony, a state of accomplishment. So this is a really great place to begin as a strength because it shows that you already know how to accomplish things. You have accomplished other things, and so you're applying that knowledge to whatever this is turning out to be. And so you'll be able to use that same method, that same recipe of manifestation, your determination, your focus, your energy into a new endeavor. So this is coming from a place of accomplishment into something new. All right, so card 2. Well, what's helpful to you? Where's your helpful energy? 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is a card of renewal. And it is also a card of generational accomplishment or inheritance or something that spans more than just your lifetime. This could be help from your ancestor guides. This could be help from parents, cousins, aunts, uncles, friends, even your own children, depending on the age thereof. Although, you know, when my kids were little, they actually did give me some pretty darn good advice every now and then. So it does not necessarily have to be age specific. So here we are with the 10 of Pentacles as your helper. So once again, a new start on a higher level. So we've got this higher level. Okay, so where's the weakest aspect? What is going to need the most work? And we have the 9 of Pentacles. And I shuffled these cards an awful lot to have 10-9 there. So there's definitely a reason for this. Now, this little 9 of Pentacles person is a fairy playing the piano. I'm going to bring this a little closer to the camera so you can see it. Because I think the discipline of learning, in this case, it's learning an instrument, learning music. Anything you want to be good at is going to take discipline. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take a little bit of time. I've learned to play the piano on a couple of occasions, and it's just something that takes a lot of time. So whatever this dream is, whatever this endeavor is, it's just going to take time, and you have to be willing to give it that time. You have to have that discipline to see it through successfully, because this is not going to be an instant gratification project that you're working on. This is going to be something that you're going to have to be dedicated and be dedicated, be dedicated. You know, it could be you're starting a new project of work, you're starting your own business, you're starting a new fitness plan, you're starting a new spiritual program. I mean, it could be absolutely anything. This is wonderfully generic in that it's something you've been successful at doing before. You've been successful at other things before, and perhaps this is a new thing that you want to add on to your successes. Great. You've got the support that you need from the people around you. Ten of Pentacles is also a little bit about seeing the magic in everyday life, and that'll help you as well. If you can celebrate the little progresses, because if this is going to be a long project, like Nine of Pentacles indicates long projects, it's going to take some dedicated effort. So, having the ability to look at the magic of the everyday and see the little progresses, day by day, you go through life and you make progress, but you don't always see the progress that you make because it's so incremental. There's such little steps, and you think, wow, I just don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. But then when you look back over a week, a month, a year, and you see, wow, my life has really progressed. I am not the same person I was a year ago. I am so much more successful or peaceful or loving or kind, whatever it is that you're working towards in your personal expansion. Wow, you look back over a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and you see, my God, I am not the same person I was 20 years ago. But it's a little bit about celebrating those incremental little parts to something that's a very long project. And it's okay to have long projects. We get in this very instant mindset these days. It's like you pop it in the microwave. I want it back out there in a minute and 30 seconds because if it takes me 3 minutes to heat up my food, I'm just going to lose it. Really? Do we have to be like that? No, we don't have to be like that. But I mean, shoot, I remember working as an artist in a stained glass studio, and this was about 20 years ago. And, the artist, she'd draw something up, and we'd be all breaking glass and grinding it down and putting it together, and people would be like, well, I really just kind of changed my mind. I want it to look, I want this to be smaller and this to be bigger. I want this to be flipped around. And it's like, this isn't a Windows, Microsoft cut and paste project. This is something that has to be fitted and ground and soldered together, and this takes time. And unless you do things that take time, it's hard to appreciate the value of time or the value of things that take time. Time is the most precious thing we have. And whatever this is going to be taking some of your time. But it will be worth it if it's a worthy goal. You get to determine that part. Okay, so here's the important part. What do we do? What is to be done? So, what do we do? Queen of Wands, yes. And Ace of Wands, passion, fire, energy. Oh my goodness, yes. So the thing that's going to get you through this long slog, this disciplined time, and just sometimes just knowing it's gonna take some time, that you can frame your mind to where you're more prepared for a long haul. If you're thinking it's gonna pop out of the microwave and it doesn't, you get discouraged. But if you're like, nope, this is going to take some time, you've got to bake everything twice and then add the cheese, whatever, cooking metaphor there. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit better. It's going to be a whole lot better for the time that you give it. So, Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands here. The wands are the fire. The wands are the passion. This is getting excited, and it's getting that mantra that gets you, that keeps you going. Whenever you get discouraged, it's like, nope, I'm passionate about my commitments. I'm passionate about the things that I want to see grow. And that's Queen of Wands right here. Queen of Wands is investing her energy into the things she wants to see grow. She's all about growth. She's about nurturing those passions, those excitements, those ideas, and just keeping them going. So that's what you've got to do. You've got to be your own Queen of Wands in this situation. You know, if you're in a Nine of Pentacles situation, you've got to keep yourself going. And you'll get some outside support, but the most important thing is what's going on inside, and that's you keeping at it, keeping passionate about those commitments, keeping passionate about your goals. Really, really, and another musical metaphor. She's here playing a harp. I don't know if you can quite see that on the camera. Try and hold it. She's playing a harp right up here. So we've got, maybe your thing is music. We've got piano and we've got harp. So both very, they're not difficult instruments to play, but to do anything very, very well takes a lot of time, patience, and dedication to go from being okay to being a master at it. And it doesn't matter how easy or difficult you think something is, mastery will always take time. That will take effort. It will take dedicated effort. And will take regular effort. This isn't something that you'll be able to pick up and put down. You'll be like, okay, I feel like doing it Monday, but maybe, you know, Monday next, or then I'll get back to it. It's like, no, this is going to take daily practice. Every single day. Something, you will need to contribute something towards this goal, towards this project. It will need just that little push from you, or could need a big push, could need some big fire. This is the explosion of the initial idea. This is the Ace of Wands. We've got all these cute little foxes all over it. Love it. So the other part of the to-do is to keep that fire burning. You've got to keep that candle lit. I'll use my little fire example over here. You've got to keep that idea in the forefront of your mind, because this is the initial spark, but it's not the ending. If you want to see it through to the ending, you've got to feed this. You've got to fuel this fire. You've got to keep it going. And that takes focused effort. You have to keep your mind, you got to keep your mind in the game. You got to keep practicing or preparing or cultivating whatever skill or practice that you're involved in. You've just got to keep it always in the front of your mind. It needs to become a daily part of your life, and you know, do what you got to do to make that happen. I am a big person for charts and checklists and stuff like that. I like to you know, make myself charts and notebooks and all that. I mean, I've got notebooks over here of different projects I'm working on. I have my little chart, my little checklist, and then I know, did I work on that today? Yes, because I put a check mark in the block. You don't get a check mark unless you actually do the work. And I love check marks. So, the outcome. Pentacle card. Oh, Queen, yes. Queen of Swords. So, accepting challenges. Bring it on. We've got our Queen of Swords. So, and this is definitely an intellectual achievement right here, because swords are the air suit. And so when you're looking to the Queen of Swords, you're looking at somebody who's a little bit no nonsense, somebody who's very accomplished, very intellectually accomplished. There are a lot of tarot cards that feature the Queen of Swords, usually holding a sword, and she's kind of got a blade, but it's decorated with beads, so it's not looking like she's going to go be slicing into anybody. But I have seen them where, you know, the Queen of Swords is holding a decapitated head, which is actually symbolic of the intellect. It's not meaning that she's literally chopping off heads, but it's a very graphic description of the Queen of Swords, in that Queen of Swords is very direct, wants the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And that is a really great outcome if you're considering that this is a project that you're putting a lot of your time and effort and your passion into. You definitely want the purity of truth and the accomplishment of intellect there. And then, you know, your queens, you got two queens here. There's a nurturing aspect to that too, which which means this isn't a one and done kind of accomplishment. This is something that once you get it moving, yes, it it will keep going, but you'll need to give it a little nudge. You'll need to keep pushing it along. It may be something, if you're starting a business, um, it may be something that's very driven by your personality, your identity with that business. Um, I've had friends that are business owners, and their businesses were very personality driven, small business. And, their success was largely from their own sense of self-expression through their business. Whether that was the stained glass business I worked for a lovely, lovely woman, or I've worked in other businesses for very accomplished people, very, very ingenious people, and that ingenuity that you're nurturing right here, ingenuity is definitely coming through in these two cards, in your fire cards. So yeah, we've got basis of earth, fire, and an outcome of an intellectual achievement there. So very, very balanced reading here. Very encouraging, I think, to anybody. And this could apply to, like I said, any kind of project, work project, personal projects, personal development, whether you were learning music or studying shamanism. I mean, it could go either way. If you're starting your own business, and it could be any kind of business. It could be an accounting business, or it could be a boutique. I mean, it could be anything would work with this simple pattern of, dedicated work, support of friends, support from yourself, from your own accomplishments, and then being able to work that and being passionate about what you're doing. That is really the key, is having the passion to keep moving with this, to get through when it gets a little sticky, when it gets a little tough, it's a little difficult, because the outcome is that it's going to be quite successful, and it'll be somewhat independent of you, but will still just need you to kind of give it that little nudge, give it that little nudge, give it that little nudge. So I hope this was helpful to you, this reading. I found it a little bit inspiring, as I'm always trying to find something new to work on. And I truly enjoy working with these cards by Stephanie Poonman Law. They're just very, very beautiful, and there's a nice serenity to the image that she draws. And who doesn't like having some dragons at your feet too? I mean, that's just fun. It's just great stuff. Okay, well, best of wishes on your new project, and I hope that this helped you out. And I thank you for watching. Bye for now.